with us is a European Union ambassador in Pakistan, Androulla Kaminara, and she's very gracious enough to spare time for us, and we really want to talk with you about the food security issue in Pakistan. So despite being a country, agriculture-based country, where 45% of the population is directly or indirectly employed with agriculture sector, Pakistan still have a severe security as far as severe food security threats. What is the reason, do you think?
Okay, according to the global report on food security, which actually has also analyzed the situation in Pakistan, they identify a number of reasons. First and foremost, it's the effects of climate change on Pakistan. In Sindh, currently there are 2 million people food insecure, and that is because Sindh is experiencing, and not just Sindh, but the whole this part of Asia is experiencing a drought. So if you have a drought, then obviously you don't have as much food being produced as normal, and therefore people are more hungry. Other issues concern how the agriculture and particularly the agricultural laborers are employed, because most of the time these are seasonal laborers. So when there is agricultural work, obviously they have some work and they have some income. But when it's off-season, let's say for agricultural labor, these people don't have an income. Other reasons include water management of water resources, and also food prices, because you have people food insecure if they cannot purchase. And because of all the other issues also that I've mentioned, if you have food prices rising, the people that are borderline living, or the people that are, let's say, the poorest of the poor, they don't have a flexibility to continue buying food at the same level, so therefore they go into food insecurity.
Okay, even if we take a case of Pakistan, natural calamity is also hit a lot. Sometimes we see a long drought, and sometimes 3-4 years floods really damage the economy.
Exactly.
So do you think that it has something to do with climate change?
Absolutely. Yesterday there was an international report published where countries were ranked as to how vulnerable are they to climate change. Pakistan used to be number 7, now it's number 5. So because of the geography of the country, because of the different environments that the country has, you have on the one hand potential glacial melting to droughts, and in a lot of countries in the world where you see drought, then you will see floods. Yes. So they almost go together, because drought gets rid of a lot of the vegetation. When rain comes, then it cannot absorb the soil cannot absorb the water, and therefore that leads to drought. So this is, let's say, a problem that's coming from the geography and the environment to Pakistan, and because of its topography and everything else.
Okay, our neighboring country India is building a lot of dams, and now Pakistan also opting to build lot of dams, and we have a number of dams are in the pipeline. So do you think that it will disturb the ecological cycle and the natural water courses?
I mean, any infrastructure that is built which is affecting the water management has to take into consideration both short-term and long-term effects of those that infrastructure. So in that, not just here but globally, then there have to be short and long-term studies on what does it mean to create that infrastructure. You cannot say by definition it's bad or good. You have to look at specific case by case and what does it mean. Who are the people affected? Who are more people going to benefit? And this type of cost-benefit analysis, basically.
Okay, one complaint what the Pakistan developing economies like Pakistan complains to the developed countries is that in the developed countries like US and the European Union or in the Far East Asia, the food, the agriculture is highly subsidized, and their produce is highly subsidized. As when it comes to Pakistan, India, and other countries like this, even some, if you take example of some African countries as well, the case is totally different. So they say that because we are not getting our good price because developed countries highly subsidize their agriculture output.
First of all, when it comes to the European Union, there are very few subsidies that are allowed because it's against also we follow WTO rules, and that's which basically those rules want to make a level playing field. So in that sense, we are not let's say guilty of what you're describing. I mean, other countries exist that do have subsidies, but let me tell you something that the European Union is actually making available for producers in Pakistan, and that's it. That is GSP Plus, which is a mechanism that gives Pakistani products duty-free access to the EU. And in fact, since 2014, when Pakistan has this option, to now there has been a 52% increase of Pakistani imports into the EU. So they have gone from 4.5 billion to over 6.5 billion. So imports from €1 billion. Right. Imports from Pakistan into the EU. So, in fact, we're not only not guilty, but I think we're helping in actually ensuring that a lot more products out of Pakistan, including agricultural products, are reaching the EU market. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for sparing time for us.